All right, we are live. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Welcome to InDesign Tuesday. Great to have so many of you coming into the room. I see you all virtually showing up. Thanks for being here, and thanks for joining me for another live stream. Today, we're going to be taking a look at something actually I did this a year ago. So this is a re-rinse of a topic that I did once before, and a year ago on, I think it was December 11th, because I looked. I talked about how to create or automate the creation of your holiday gift tags, so the ones you actually put on the presents themselves, using a feature in Adobe InDesign. So we're going to be taking a look at how to do that once again, since so many of you probably either A, didn't see it because it was a year ago, and you're new, and B, the ones that may have seen it, but they forgot, or because I had to go back and look because I forgot some of the steps myself. So with that said, thanks for being here, and let's go ahead and dive right in. So I see a bunch of people coming in. I see Nick, I see Armin over on Facebook. Andrea just joined. Rick's here. Let's see, Rick and Nick. And I see some folks over on YouTube as well. Jan, Nadia, Jesse, Chad, Lori, Lynn, Tom. Great that you guys are here. And I also see some folks coming in even on LinkedIn and Twitter as well. So I'll try and keep up with the chat as best I can. But thanks for being here, and let's go ahead and dive right in. So with that said, I'll switch over to the computer. I've got InDesign up and running with nothing open. This is how we like to start things whenever we can so that you can see the whole process from scratch. Now, well, I say that from scratch because there is one thing I did do up front. I did download a stock template of some gift tags. That is optional. You can absolutely go design your own. You do not have to buy anything. You don't have to buy anything from stock. But it was just easier for me to get some stock ones than for me to sit here and design my own. But if you like to draw, you like to make your own, you like to just be a graphic designer and design your own or use your own photography, whatever it is, you can absolutely do this with your own images. You do not have to use stock templates. So let's get started in InDesign first, then I'll show you the template. If you want to search for Adobe Stock, you just go to Stock, write in InDesign or write in Illustrator, and you say holiday gift tags, and you'll see all the various ones that come up. But anyway, to get started, let's go ahead and do a new document. So going in from scratch. Lee, thanks. I'm glad you love the content. And hello, Tom. What's up? So now, in order to do this, I'm going to first pick that I want a print document. In other words, because these are to be printed. I do want an 8.5 by 11. I don't need it to be facing pages. I do need it to be wide because the way the layout for these tags is going to be wide. The only other thing I need to be concerned about, and this will vary depending on you and your printer, wherever you're going to be printing these out, whether it's you print them on your own printer or take them to Kinko's or whatever. The other thing is that you need to know the margins, the maximum margins that you can have for your printer. In other words, for example, if you're using an inkjet, most inkjets being sold today have a print to the edge mode, meaning they can print all the way to the edge of the paper. I'm using a laser printer that can't print to the edge of the paper, so I have to be conscious of what that margin is. So the margin for my printer is 0.25. If you had a borderless printer, you could put 0 in because it's going to print all the way to the edge. So 0.25 is that's the smallest margin I could possibly have without things being cut off. Dave Clayton's in the house. What's going on, Dave? So I'm going to go ahead and click Create, and that will just give me my one blank page. Great. Now, let me show you how I got those templates. So I'm going to go to my Creative Cloud library. Do I have my library panel open over there? I don't. Oh, there it is. Okay, my CC libraries. And what I did, let me switch to the library we're going to be using today. What I did was I just went and did a search. By the way, make sure your search is set for Adobe Stock and not your library. I just did a search for holiday gift tag. So type that into search, and did I not get anything? I think I did vectors as well. Sorry, no results. What? Oh, because I spelled holiday wrong. That would be why there are no results. You do kind of have to spell the stuff right. I'm still spelling holiday wrong. Let's do it one more time. There we go. All right, here we go. Holiday gift tag. And they come up with all the various ones. So what I scrolled looking for were like multiple tags like this up on a page, like 4 different designs. I actually went for one that had like 10 different designs or 8 different designs. So I found the one that I wanted. That's a cool one too. And then I bought that template. Again, you do not have to do this. You can even download one of these as a free preview and design one after. You can like use it as a template for designing your own. You do not have to buy one. So just making that clear that that's where I got mine from, but you don't have to do that. So here's the one that I did, and I'm going to double click on it. And it's probably going to open in Illustrator because it is an Illustrator file. And I went in and I did some changes to it. So that's the whole point of a template, is that you can make it your own. So it had a to and a from line. I took the lines out. I went ahead and put our names in up front. So from the from, I don't want to have to automate putting those in when I can just go ahead and type it in one time and be done with it. Then of course I duplicated the to and the from to all 8 tags. And then that was it. So once I made it my own, I took the whole graphic. So I did a Command A, select all, and I added it to my library over here on the left side by clicking the plus sign and added it as a graphic. So that's why it's in my library right now. So I'm going to go ahead and just rename this, gift tags. Oops, sorry, I hit return by mistake. There we go. Gift tags 2019. Okay, so that'll make, so I'll know that I use these this year. So I'm not using the same ones every year. Okay, so we close that, head back to InDesign with our blank page. This is where we started. Knowing that the tags are there, we're going to do one more thing. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to head over to the master pages. So I'm going to go to the pages panel, and you always default on your document page. I'm going to double click on the master page because this is one important step. So step 1, create the document that matches your printer. Step 2, go to the master page of that document, because this is an important step, because what we're going to use is data merge. And if data merge sees things that are actually on the document page, it could stop and run into issues because those elements would be in the way. So it's best to do this on the master page for that reason. So Soya is asking, can I zoom in a little? Zoom in to what? So if there's something in particular you can't see, just let me know. All right, so on the master page, and I'll zoom into that just so you can see it. There we are, we're on the master page in the pages panel. I double clicked on it, so we're now editing on that page. So now I'm going to go back to that library. Let's put the pages away for a minute. I'm going to go back to that Creative Cloud library, and I should probably tear this off just so I have it handy. There it is. Let's tear this library off for now. And I'm going to go ahead and put that stuff away. I'm going to drag over my tags. So I'm going to put them on the master page, and I'm going to put them within the margin. Now, they're not going to be a perfect fit. So in other words, when I come down, I can only go down so far without exceeding the margin. And so they don't go all the way over to the right edge, and that's okay. It's okay that there's going to be a little space left over, and that's fine. I could even move it so that they're more centered within the margin, but it really doesn't matter as long as the margin's good. So there we go. I've got it kind of, just as long as it's within the margin and not over the margin, you're good to go. So now that I've done that, I can go back to the Pages panel. I'm on the master. I'm done with the master because that's all I needed to do was put my tags on the master. Now I'll go back to the document page. So now we're on the document page and it looks exactly the same because that's what the master page is using, or the document page is using the master page. So we're on the document page now, another important step, because you want to make sure you're not doing the next step on the master page. You have to be on the document page. So create your document, master page, put the tags, whatever graphics you design on the master page, go back to the document page. Now that you're on the document page, here's where we begin the process of automating. Now, I'm going to, oops, sorry, I didn't mean to go all the way down. I'm going to go down to my, I'm going to try and find the data file that I want to use today. And I believe it is in here. I need to just really stick this over here so I'll have it from now on. And let's go here. And there should be, there it is, holiday gift tags. This is the Excel spreadsheet I used last year when I did this. So I'm going to open it up. And it doesn't matter, it's been, maybe I haven't opened this version of Excel lately. It doesn't matter what spreadsheet you use. It doesn't matter, you can even do this by hand if you're careful at what you type. But it doesn't matter which spreadsheet, it could be Excel, it could be Pages, it could be it could be Google Sheets. Any spreadsheet that you have access to will work. All right, so now that we've got the spreadsheet open, the most important thing that you're going to do is you're going to put the field name, so first name, last name, address, phone number, city, state, zip, whatever your fields are, they're going to go on that first row across. So I'm only doing name, so it's first name and last name. And it could just be name. You could type the first name and last name in the same field if you want. All right, so these are some names of people I know and some names I've made up along the way. So let's make up a new name, or let's use someone in the chat. We'll give a gift to Silman. Oh, sorry, putting your last name in the wrong spot. Mamut. Okay. All right, so now we got a new person there. And so now we're giving away 21 gifts because the first line is the field names, and the last name is, or the last person we put in is number 22, which is really the 21st gift. And let's go ahead and pick one more. Let's do Tom. Tom, I can barely see that. All right, I can see Lynn Smith. All right, sorry, we're going to do Lynn Smith for the next one. All right, so now we picked a couple of names to give to add to our gift list. So this, in other words, what I'm saying is this list can be as long as you need it to be. If you're giving away 5 gifts, fine. Probably easier to type the 5 names right on the template. But if you're giving away more than 8, more than a few, if you need more than that, then this is probably faster and easier. All right, so now that I got my tags all typed out, who they're going to, the next thing I'm going to do is save this. Let's save it so it updates the Excel spreadsheet. But then we're going to do a save as. And we're going to not save it as an Excel document. Instead, we're going to save it as a tab delimited file. This is an important, crucial step. It cannot be the native spreadsheet format. Can't be Excel, can't be Pages, can't be Google Docs. You're saving this out as a tab delimited file. And you can give it whatever name you want. So I'm just going to do names 2019. And then I'm going to save it to that same folder. It doesn't matter where you save it, as long as you know where it is. Save it to that same folder. Some features in, yes, I know. It's just letting me know in that format some features may not work. Okay, I'm done with Excel. That was it. Just type your names, type your fields, and all your names down, and then you're done. Next, and we're done with the library too, so I can put that away. All right, so next. This is where we get into the InDesign feature that is the most important part. So we got our tags on the master page, we're on the document page. We have our names all typed and saved out as a text file, tab delimited, meaning there's a tab, name, tab, last name, return, first name, tab, last name, return. That's what I meant. You could do it yourself if you didn't have access to a spreadsheet. And then we're going to go up to the window menu and go to an area that you probably don't spend a lot of time in. You're going to go into Utilities, Data Merge. This is where the magic happens in InDesign. So let you soak that in for a second. Window, Utilities, Data Merge is where you're going to bring up this panel. When you bring up this panel, it's going to come up with the script panel and the script label panel and the Data Merge panel. I only need one of these, so I'm just going to tear it off. That's the only one I need. The rest I can close. Don't need the rest of those panels. And in the Data Merge panel, it's actually even giving you the instructions right there on the panel. How cool is that? How many panels do you wish would actually tell you how the panel works? And by the way, they do that because they probably realize most people don't use this feature every day, so you're going to forget how to use it. I did. Next, you're going to go to the flyout menu, and you're going to select your data source. So your data source is that tabbed delimited text file. So select data source. It's going to come up with a window saying, where's your data source? That's why I said you need to know where you saved it. I saved it in holiday gift tags. There it is, names 2019. And when you click open, nothing's going to happen other than the field name, the field labels are going to show up. Not the actual records, but the labels themselves. So when you see that first name, last name, and the name of your file, you know you did it correctly. All right, next, I'm going to move this out of my way for now. And it's in order for me to use that first name, last name, I have to make a field to drag them into. So I'm going to go to my text tool. Or not, I said field. I'm thinking data. I have to make a frame to put them into. I'm going to go to my text tool. I'm going to drag out a new frame in InDesign right on the document page. Now I can make it fill up this entire area, but I'm going to leave some space just in case. Because maybe I don't want it to go all the way to the edge, because remember I got to cut these out when I'm done. And now that I've got that one field there, I can go ahead and drag over first name. And it's just going to come in as text. And you can do this any way you want. Obviously, you can just have the first name. If you're only giving away the gifts to people that don't have, like there's no duplicate Johns, there's no duplicate Susans, whatever, then John, Susan, Mary, Rufus, whoever, you just give out the first name and that's all you need. But if you do want to make sure you get the first name and last name, then you have to give it first name and last name. So to do that, if you were typing the first name, you would hit the space bar and then type the last name. Same thing applies here. If you want a space in between the names, you have to hit the space now. You could also, and last year I did the example where I put the last name on the second line and kept it small, made the first name big. So you can format this any way you want after you've got them in there. So I'm going to hit the space bar. Now I got my space, I can go ahead and drag over a last name. All right, that's it. So now it knows to put the first name and last name in that spot. Now, if I were to proceed with this, there would be a couple problems. Number one, it would be whatever font we're in right now, Myriad Pro Regular. And if that's what you want, then you're good. But you can change the font, you can change the color, you can change anything about this that you want. You don't have to live with the default font of whatever you're using in InDesign. You also don't have to live with the default color. So you can format this any way you want. The other problem is that if I were to print this right now, only one label would be personalized. Only that first label. So it would print out how many ever names we had, let's say 22, it'd print out 22 pages because it only thinks there's one label, it doesn't know the design, it only thinks there's one thing per page. So let's fix the formatting first. So I'm going to highlight the whole thing. And I'm going to change the font to the same font that the to and the from is using. I believe that's Lush Script. All right, so now I've done that, and I can make it a little bigger. All right, so now I've made that first name field, last name field bigger, but that doesn't solve the how do I make it print 8 per page as opposed to 1 per page. Well, that's where we go back to the data merge panel again. And we go back to that flyout menu and we choose another feature that you probably would not have stumbled upon by accident, create merge document, because that does not say what it's doing. I get what it's going to do, but I would have never guessed that. So create merge document brings up this. And this is where you're going to go in and you're going to switch it from records per document page, single record, to records per document page, multiple records. And now, if I move this out of the way and hit preview, it's going to be messed up. Watch. Because it's just going to assume you made the field, I'm just going to put all the names on the whole page that will fit. So if you had 100 names, they would probably all fit on here. And that's not what I want either. And the reason it's messed up like this is because it doesn't know that those are labels. Again, it doesn't know that there's anything on that page because there's nothing on that page. It's on the master page. So here's what we're going to do next. We're going to go into I'll just move some of this out of the way so I can see it. We're going to go into the multiple record layout tab. So we're still in this dialog box. We just switched to multiple records, click preview, multiple record layout. And this is where we get to tell it how to put each field on the page. So first thing to do is uncheck the link because you don't want all the margins to be the same. So I'm going to uncheck that so that the margins I can make them all different. So the first thing is, what's the top margin? Well, the top right now is at 1/4 inch, all the way to the top of the page. Well, it needs to come down to about 3 inches. So let's make the top margin 3. That brings them all down to the right spot. Great. Where's the left margin? The left margin, looking at the ruler, is probably about 1/2 inch. I could be wrong. 0.5. Nope, I'm wrong. It needs to go over a little bit more. So I'm just going to hit the up arrow on the left margin until it clears the 2 field. Now I'm not looking at the ones next in the subsequent columns. I'm only looking at this first one. So it needs to clear the 2. Not worried about the from because the from's already filled in. So as long as it clears the 2 field, we're good to go. All right, so that takes care of the first record, the top and left. Now you need to take care of all the other records. And that's what the spacing is for. So spacing between the columns. There are, what, 5 columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 columns. So we don't need 6 columns. We only need 4. But there's no way to say 4. We just have to do it with spacing. So I'm going to say, oh, I don't know, spacing between the columns 1.5 inches. Nope, that's too much because it spaces that last one over too far. So let's go, I don't know, 1.25. Still not enough. Let's go 1. All right, that brings back in that last one, but that's not good enough. And this is where you might run into a situation where your spacing is off because it's doing it mathematically, and mine isn't necessarily, my labels aren't necessarily mathematically perfect in terms of their spacing. So it might take me a minute to get this just right. 1.25 is going to be too much, but I can move the left margin back over a little bit. Let's do that. And maybe we can get that to fit. Ooh, that's not going to fit. Hang on. Then I might need to move the whole card over. Maybe. Let's see if we can get this to fit. Okay, that brings it over. And see what I mean by you can't see this one, but the spacing, like that's really close to the 2. That one's probably a little further away. That one's much further away. It's because they're not perfectly aligned in terms of the spacing of the cards themselves. All right, but let's live with that for a minute. I can always go back and adjust the layout of the cards themselves. So let's go back now and let's do the space between the rows. So again, there's probably between each row maybe 3 inches. Nope, didn't bring it down far enough. So let's go 3.5. There we go. So looks great, except that first one needs to be moved over a little bit more. So I can keep messing with that one. And I don't want to cut off that last one. So I can keep moving that over until I get that just right. And that about does it. I can still see them. Yep, they're all there. Nothing's overlapping. Great, great, great. And that's it. You're ready to go at this point. I thought I would have to move stuff around, but just working with the math here to get it to fit. And of course, again, this one's further away from the 2 than this one, than this one, than this one, but that's okay. They're not going to be next to each other when I put them on the packages. But if you really wanted it to be perfectly spaced apart, then your labels need to be mathematically perfectly spaced apart so that you can match the math. All right. Now what? You got this done. What do we do now? Well, if you're happy with the way it looks, you click OK. And what's going to happen next when you click OK is it's going to pop up saying there are no problems. And you can move this out of your way. And what you'll notice that it did is it created a new document. There's a new untitled tab. Here's the original, the one with the 1 on it. Here's the new one with all the labels on it and all the pages of labels. So I can go through now and do anything I want. Let me see one more thing. Let's see if it did it. It did not. Okay. And away we go. So now I just hit print, and all my tags would be custom design and ready to print. And if I want to see what that really looked like, I can see it in preview mode without any borders, without any boundaries. And that's page 3, that's page 2, that's page 1. So I've got my tags ready to go. Now, I would recommend doing one more thing before you bring up the data merge stuff, or before you actually go into the multi-layout. One more thing I would have done, I just forgot to do it, is I would change the color of this. I don't want the text for the 2 to be the same color as everything else. So I might grab, actually I don't want that eyedropper. Sorry, I want that eyedropper. I would grab a different color for that text. Oops, hang on. Sorry. There we go. So that way my tags are now, the names are, there's some contrast there. The names stand out as a different color from the and from everything else on the card. I just grabbed that red from the Santa's hat. So if I were to do this part again now with the red in there, all I'd have to do is go back in to create merge document. It should be already set to go. If I go to multiple layout, it's all set to go. If I look at preview, they're all set to go in red, and away we go. We click OK. And now I have another new document with the red names for all the names. Oh, and I ended up, accidentally putting a red frame there. So don't put a red frame if you don't want the red frame. But there you go. That even gave it a different kind of customization. You have a box around the actual name. All right, so that's it. So if you want to create your custom tags, design your tags, put them on the master page, type your text in a spreadsheet, save it as a tab delimited file, open up your tags in it, place your tags in InDesign on the master page, go to the document page, go to data merge, and under the window menu, under utilities, and do the steps. Basically, choose your file, drag your fields in, format your fields any way you want them to look, whatever font, color, whatever layout. Do your multiple records per layout, or merge documents, I should say, and you've got your pages. So if this had been 1,000 names, I'd have whatever 1,000 is divided by 8. So if someone's quick with math, I would have that many pages. All right, so the question that Chad's asking is, will this video be available to watch again later on YouTube? Yes, you're watching on YouTube now. As soon as I end it, it will be there for you to watch as many times as you need. And same thing on Facebook, and the same thing on LinkedIn, and the same thing on Twitter and Periscope. All right, so with that said, go forth and make your holiday tags. And if I don't talk to you again between now and the end of the week, have a great holiday season. Have a great holiday and break. If you're taking a break, spend time with friends and family. And also be sure to have some design fun too if you get a chance. Not work, fun. So go play with applications on your downtime when you're not spending time with friends and family. And I will stream, I think, again tomorrow. Maybe I'll do Photoshop on the iPad. Not sure what channel just yet, but stay tuned to my social media channels and you will get the announcements when it happens. All right, let's see what you do. Thanks, Livon. Is that Shangning Wang? Hello, and glad this was helpful for you. Leslie, you're welcome. And I think I got everybody that I saw. Let's see if there's any questions there. Late, this is your first live stream. Well, better late than never. Let's see, making sure. Love the channel. Great, cool. You're welcome. You're welcome. Great, you learned so many things in InDesign from me. Awesome. All right, I'm not seeing any real questions other than great comments. But thank you guys. If I missed a question, just send it to me on one of my pages. I'll try and answer it. All right, so with that said, cheers everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye everybody.